So, who here has ever daydreamed before? Like Matt and myself, that's probably most of you. And now when you daydream, what do you daydream about?
Are you at your favorite vacation spot, in the setting of the book you just read, or maybe in the life of a celebrity? Or if you're like Kyrin and myself, when it's a snowy day here in Binghamton, you daydream about going skiing. But being a college student with no real method of transportation, it can be too hard to get to the slopes.
Well, whatever the case may be, in all these situations, while your body is physically in the present world, your mind is in another world. In other terms, a virtual world. You have created a virtual reality for yourself. And this is exactly what we decided to do. If we couldn't get to the slopes, then we would bring the slopes to our dorm rooms. But how?
Well, we decided to create a virtual reality startup company. Now, when you first think of virtual reality, you may get this impression. A gamer sitting in his room with his headphones on, and completely cutting himself off from his surroundings.
Well, we are here today to erase that image from your mind and tell you the reality of virtual reality. So, what exactly is virtual reality? Virtual reality is a computer-generated environment in which the user can physically interact. The key here being physically interact. This is what separates virtual experiences from the more traditional video game. And there are headsets, such as the simpler Google Cardboard, down to the more complex Oculus Rift. And these headsets simulate the user's sense of vision by creating a 360 three-dimensional view which they can interact with. And there are sensors on these headsets which track the user's facial position and tell where they are in that virtual environment. Now, while this experience itself is captivating, we want to take it a step even further.
So why stop at vision? The more senses that are simulated, the more our brain believes that what we're experiencing is real. And with perfect simulation, the only way you could tell what you're experiencing isn't real is your memory of putting on some type of headset. Now, virtual reality technology today, while not perfect, is capable of tricking some of our senses. Companies like Oculus have done a phenomenal job in tricking one of our more important senses, vision. We are trying to finish the puzzle of true simulation.
And like Matt said, we want to create a more realistic virtual experience. So last spring, our team created a motion simulator, capable of moving the user forwards and backwards and side to side. And we did this for two reasons. One, to enhance the user's virtual experience, and two, to reduce the issues of motion sickness, which commonly occur due to the fact that what we see and what we feel in these virtual experiences are not always in sync. And we constructed the simulator for under $1,000 out of relatively basic supplies, such as PVC pipes, 2x4s, recycled bike parts, and of course, every engineer's best friend, lots of duct tape.
Now, the completion of this simulator proved to us that we are capable of creating technically complex systems at a college student budget. It could be used from anything, ranging from test driving a Formula One race car to even drone racing. We built this simulator because we wanted the user to experience the excitement of acceleration. Many people find acceleration thrilling. Consider hitting the big drop of a roller coaster, for example. This common thrill attracts some people.
Like myself.
And frightens others, like me. However, let's face it, getting to an amusement park isn't always easy, and no one really wants to wait in lines all day just to go on a few rides. So instead, what if we could take the power of virtual reality and pair it with peripherals like our simulator to bring in more senses? This not only can make the experience more memorable and convenient, but allow us to experience many more opportunities as well.
And now we're going to show you a video clip of a user using our motion simulator. And he gets to experience the thrill of racing without actually having to go to the racetrack. So here you can see Habib is using the traditional video game controller in addition to the Oculus headset and the motion simulator. So this engages more of his senses in this experience. And it's no surprise that users of virtual reality find these experiences to be more realistic. And this just goes to show that once we can trick the brain into believing simulated visuals our other senses can be more easily fooled as well.
Now, the value of virtual reality goes far beyond an amusing diversion like this. It possesses great potential in education. Imagine not only learning about the Trail of Tears in history class, but going along for the grueling trek as well. Or how about being in biology and studying the fragility of our ocean's coral reefs, not only by reading about it, but by putting on a VR headset to dive into the ocean and to view the vast diversity of real reefs for yourself. Now, this learning experience isn't that far-fetched. In fact, some students are being exposed to this firsthand with the Google Expeditions Pioneer program. Now, while it's still a work in progress, students have the opportunity to see over 100 journeys. These journeys include seeing the iconic architecture of Barcelona, walking across the Great Wall of China, exploring space, and many more. Studies show that an experience is more memorable when more senses are involved. When more senses are involved, the emotional experience of the user is intensified, which can help develop emotional intelligence.
Now, most of us are familiar with the concept of IQ. IQ is used to determine our level of intelligence and predict future levels of success. But this is only half the picture. Studies show that emotional intelligence, or EQ, is as good a predictor, if not better than IQ, when looking at future levels of success. So what exactly is EQ? EQ is responsible for our ability to understand one another and connect in a social environment. So this obviously plays a huge role in society. A high IQ can get you far, but you pair that with a high EQ, and that can lead to even greater levels of success. Now, education using virtual reality has this ability to connect our mind and body and integrate it into a more sensory experience overall. This goes to show that virtual reality is helping to develop emotional intelligence because of the unique way it connects us to other realities and the emotions and feelings that go along with those realities.
Now, a familiar example of this is like while watching a movie, it captures your emotions such as fear, love, courage, and sadness. And what if we could add even more emotions or senses to this experience? With the addition of virtual reality, the film industry can and is already creating new movie styles. Blackout is a new virtual reality film that gives your user an opportunity that many of us have probably always wanted to experience: telepathy. The setting takes place on a subway train that stalls during a blackout. You, a passenger on that train, after the blackout, can walk up to different people and actually hear their thoughts. Now, every person you see is a 3D interpretation of an actual person, and their thoughts reveal something about who they are or how they ended up on this train with you. Now, the use of virtual reality in this sense could maybe shed a new light on our daily life, or better yet, how about a new perspective on others in our world?
And up until now, our perspective of our world is based on our reality, which makes sense, right? But what if we were exposed to other realities? There are everyday events taking place all over the world, of which we can read about in the news or see images on TV. But what would it be like if you were actually there? The use of virtual reality will help us form deeper connections to our world. And the sense of reality we stand to gain from virtual reality would be expanded to a global scale.
And the New York Times is doing just that with the NYT VR app. With the assistance of just a Google Cardboard and a smartphone, you can experience the news in a surreal fashion. The New York Times is taking that next step in media to present the news in its most purest form, in the way that many journalists could only hope, like you're actually there.
A recent piece from the New York Times takes us far away from the comfort of this room, far away from our homes, across the Atlantic to France. As your surroundings come into focus, you can see you are immersed in the center of a heartbreaking vigil. As you turn around from the heap of candles, letters, and roses, all you can see are more people.
The light sound of traffic is heard in the background, the flutter of a bird or two, the murmur of people talking or sobbing. But then a narration is heard.
A young man tells a reporter of his best friend whom he recently lost. Him and his friend had plans to go to a concert that night. However, he had worked late and was too tired to go. This has become one of his deepest regrets. He is alive while his best friend is now gone.
In the final scene, the crowd grows even more as they come and gather around a man and his friend on the ground playing the guitar. As you take your time, you look around to witness the people, candles, letters, and roses one last time, and then silence.
This experience is real footage from the aftermath of the recent Paris attacks. So hopefully now you can see how the use of virtual reality allows us to have so many more possibilities to engage in our world and learn.
Virtual reality can connect us from the classroom to the racetrack, from the latest news to the next great film. It broadens the possibilities of research, exploration, science, education, traveling the world, and so much more.
Virtual reality is not cutting us off from our current world. Rather, it is opening us up to a world of possibility. Thank you.